Hi, my name is Amy Coughenour, and this is a project for colloquium at FGCU. And I'm going to read a poem I wrote about soil erosion globally and locally, and the things we can do to help prevent it. Soil has been here for a great length of time, understanding that it has been here longer than human life. From the beginning, it has been our companion, growing food and providing habitats everywhere from the Amazon to the Grand Canyon. Soil is necessary for all life, not just human. Organisms thrive in the soil that the plants grow that fuel food chains. Don't let this egalitarian thought get you fuming, but I'm trying to start a revolution. When monoculture practices strip the land, there will be nothing but sand. You can't eat money made from exploiting the soil, gaining wealth and not health. Forced to pick up and leave to find another habitat to defeat, in a new place you think, oh, this is great. Choose to start over, not changing a single practice, the soil you now till. Prepare that one crop, corn, wheat, regardless, it's the habitat you kill. Not thinking of sustainability, just stealing the land's authenticity. Conservation tilling is effective on a small scale, but on a large scale, it is yet to be seen. Thanks to Switzerland, those who tested this, it was a method on which they were keen. In 10 years' time, it was apparent that this type of tilling kept the erosion at bay. For crops, this is the preferred way. Sub-Saharan Africa knows this problem well. From grass and crops to desert, there's not much to do, but pick up where they have made and make that uprooting move. As time goes on and the cycle starts over, soil erodes and roots have no cover. The farmers blame Mother Nature, but I blame human nature. Greed and overuse with no concern for our abuse leads to the inability for the crops to produce. This blessing we disguise by turning our eyes, carbon emissions, recycling, we all see. But what do we work to reduce? No, maybe we'll plant a tree. Soil erosion remains unpopular in mainstream environmental discussion, but why would it come up when we don't see the repercussion? After all, isn't it Mother Nature, not we, who causes tragedy? If the damage were seen, there would be a change in the way we do things. Permaculture, conservation tilling, planting trees and grass. In the end, our troubles would come to pass. Healthier soils leads to healthier crops. I wish we would implement these before we were just left with rocks. It's easier to start now than to build what we have lost. Government incentives to encourage growth, not just economic, but the kind we need most, food. Pick the sustainable agriculture practice that fits your area and bring to life where there was once hysteria. Encourage your community to do the same, because in the end, it is us to blame. Get your head in the game, because things are about to change. Rural Kenya understands the social aspect of implementing sustainable land practice. Neighborhoods educate and communicate in order to proliferate the benefits of reducing soil erosion. Encouragement and help from peers allows implementation time to be reduced by years. Plan to deal with past mistakes coming to haunt you. Winds picking up the soil dust of your past and depositing it into your new land. This is figurative and literal. Don't just think I'm being general. Planting tree shelter beds can prevent wind damage, making erosion on crop fields easier to manage. Sustain the soil by continuously working to prevent erosion. It takes persistence and extreme devotion. So you live in the city. That makes you special, living exempt from this trouble. Your dedication to preserving soil is pivotal, but maybe you don't see it that way. You can compost the food that you eat every day. Lemon peels, banana peels, coffee grounds, food and yard scraps are 26% of your waste. Composting tumbler and composting piles, it's easy, simple for easing a child. When the composition is right, spread it on the plant beds, grow tomatoes, herbs, anything you need. Doing this, urban composting, it is you it'll feed. So you have a yard, implement permaculture into your garden. Here, various plants are grown year-round and in the proper season. So for tilling, there is no reason. The wind of change is coming where people are understanding, governments are reforming. The African Union implemented the Green Western Saharan Initiative. With this, 300 million trees are planted on 3 million hectares across Africa. Sustainability's momentum is gaining. Why change if we are doomed, you ask? We are not doomed. Acting now allows for cropland to be available for future generations, and not as a difficult task. We should act now to benefit humanity today and tomorrow. Not only humanity, but all of the animals and organisms that depend on the fruits of the land, This is not possible when all that is left is sand. So do your part. Plant trees in the park, create soil, and begin to toil. All living things depend on soil health. Doing this will bring the earth great wealth. The FGCU community maintains the food forest. Permaculture is facilitated and students are educated. Soil is treasured and built with chop and drop. It is truly a great place to see. If you're in town, do stop. So that's a poem I wrote about just erosion all around the world and locally. There are ways, like I said, to actually help with building soil, and one of these is permaculture, where actually behind me is a picture of the food forest at FGCU, and going through some pictures you can definitely see that it's all maintained, and there's no tilling, there's no bringing up soil, and the soil is really treasured here. So with permaculture you can definitely find ways to build the soil and not reduce it. So if you don't have a yard, like I said, composting is a really great alternative. You can compost anything from dairy products to vegetables and meats, which is a shrimp, and just putting in a composting tumbler and really just letting it work in the heat, breaking it down to where it becomes really useful to put on soil, plant beds or anything like that, coffee grounds. They are all really excellent ways to build soil through composting. I hope you enjoyed my poem that I wrote for this, and I hope it actually really educated you on some things about soil erosion. Thank you.